A warm welcome. First of all, happy Chinese New Year. 新年快乐. 龙马精神,马到成功. That means happy New Year. 龙马精神, long is actually dragon. Ma is horse, is good health. So you can imagine the dragon and a horse combination. It's powerful. 马到成功. Ma is horse. Dao, when it arrives. 成功 is success. So when the horse arrives, we have success. These are these wonderful Chinese idioms. And we have a few Chinese speakers amongst us. For those who don't know me, I'm Pamela. I'm half Chinese. Actually, I'm half Hong Kong Chinese, so I should actually say 新年快乐,龙马精神,马到成功, which is quite different from Mandarin. So a really warm welcome. I think there's a lot of people excited about the year of the fire horse because everything it promises. Many people have had a challenging 2025 or the last few years, not only just last year. The year of the snake, and nothing wrong with snakes. I love snakes as well. And all the same, there's this analogy of the snake shedding skin. So while we shed skin every day, we just don't see it necessarily, not like our furry friends where we see their hair, but it is true. We need to shed skin in order to enter the new. Let's get the practicalities out of the way first. This call is being recorded. I will do some editing before uploading it. I hope you saw the email, which was sent out about a month, an hour before this call. And also in the invite, large pieces of paper, ideally, color pens or pencils, something warm to drink, quiet space without distractions, a candle or something beautiful. I don't know how many candles lit up here, and some incense. And I've also already tuned us in. The journal is for more reflection before, after, and hopefully for follow through series, because my intention is to follow these sessions through on a regular basis for the rest of the year. So if you need anything right now, I would go and get it before we begin. We will be taking a short break halfway through. But just in case, I'll just wait till everybody has settled. I invite you to be here with open mind, open heart, and open will. I'll be sharing a few things some of you might be familiar with, and maybe things that you are not so familiar with. So let's see. I did not do a dry run. It's not something one can really do a dry run on, but that's how I work. So don't expect perfection. Having said that, I've had quite a few experiences doing things like this. So I hope you can lean back and enjoy. For those of you who don't know me, I am dialing in from central Switzerland, lived in different parts of the world, and now at the foot of the Alps, and it actually snowed today. The Chinese New Year, by the way, is, we also call it Chunzi because it's actually the beginning of spring. It's the lunar calendar that we follow. It's the new moon, which means that manifesting energies are high. And in the southern hemisphere, there's actually a solar eclipse. So we live in pretty interesting times, and today is a pretty powerful day. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Let's put our feet on the ground. And if you want to close your eyes, we're just going to take a couple of deep breaths. And if you want to close your eyes, you can do that. We're just going to internalize our focus right now rather than on the screen. And I'm your host. I'll be guiding you with my voice this whole session. So focus on your breath. And our breath takes us to the here and now. So wherever you've come in from, wherever you've just physically come in from, mentally, emotionally, we're here in the moment. And if you place your feet on the ground, so that we're really connecting with the earth and noticing the roots of the earth, connecting with our roots. and letting your breath guide you. So we're not engineering anything here. We're not making things happen. We're following. And we're following our breath upwards from the earth into our heart space, upwards into our third eye, the energy center just between our eyebrows and our beautiful minds, and then upwards into the sky and the heavens, so that we're breathing into this connection between heaven and earth. We're always a bridge between the above and below. Just becoming a little bit more aware of this right now. Right, and then taking your attention to actually just below the belly button right now, breathing in and out from that space. And it's the lower dantian, which is an energy center just below the belly button, behind and below it. It's the stabilizing center. And if you do Qigong or any of the martial arts, you will know this space. All right, another few conscious breaths, and then feel free to open your eyes and reconnect with the room. Okay, so we have arrived. Okay, so your time, your space. I realized today as I was tuning in that actually gateways to envisioning might have been misleading for some because it sounds like we're visualizing. And in fact, we're not going to be visualizing, we're tuning in, we're constantly tuning in. We've just started tuning in, and what you can expect for the next hour and a half or so is that we're going to begin tuning in for our minds. Why? Because we tend to have busy minds, like myself. And for those of you who don't know what to expect, it might be a good idea to get that out of the way in terms of what it's about and how this works. I don't have all the answers, but I can give you a little bit of information up front. We're going to tune into awareness a little deeper than we did just now and into your life and the here and now. We're then going to tune into a field of higher consciousness and into the future before we tune out together. So, those are the blocks for today. A quote you may be familiar with from Stephen Covey, who is an author on leadership. So, this is not a quote you would typically expect in the leadership book, but this is the direction we're going in the world. We're beginning to really understand that we are not human beings on a spiritual journey, but actually we're spiritual beings on a human journey. And that's what we're going to be experiencing a little bit of today. Albert Einstein, as some of you know, I like to quote him, everything is energy. And that's all there is to it. And we know this. It's not just him. It's proven that everything is energy. And when we match the frequency of the reality you want, you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. I work with a tuning fork, so I tuned in this space before I opened it. And because we're energy, we each carry a frequency. And you'll hear me use the words tuning in a lot because we are actually always tuned into something, but most of the time we're not conscious of what we're tuned into. The heart is rose crystal, as some of you will recognize. The tuning fork, which I have right here, is a very high frequency. It helps for clearing. So we are tuning in all the time to a frequency. The question is what we're tuning into. We're also satellite dishes, which means we send out and we receive. Today, we're really exercising the muscles of focusing our awareness because we are actually awareness. we're focusing our intention, we're focusing our attention, and we're focusing our focus. For someone who is full of ideas, that can be a challenge. And it's a practice. That's what we're going to do today. So here comes the tuning in for our minds, for our beautiful brains. David Hawkins, who wrote a number of books, including The Map of Consciousness, which I can really recommend, says that, and again, this is not just him, but thoughts have an energetic pattern. So it's not just that we are energy, but thoughts, everything has an energetic pattern. The more energy we give a thought, the more power it has to physically manifest itself. And that's connected to intention. Intention is giving our thoughts conscious attention. So these four words are very, very intertwined. Neural priming, top athletes practice this all the time. If you watch skiers, but this goes for any high performance sport, they will be closing their eyes and priming their minds towards success as if they were skiing down a slope. So this is backed by neuroscience. That does sometimes imply visualization. The point is we can rewire our brain based on thoughts. So here's the thing. I'm getting more and more enthusiastic about the work I do because there's more and more science to back the stuff that I have lived for many years and try to find an explanation for it. I will keep finding very hands-on research that explains what we experience more and more so. Connected to intention is this whole idea of non-local consciousness. What is consciousness? And it's one of those elusive definitions. I've always asked myself, how do you know that you're thinking something? Because it's as if we have a TV inside our minds. If I say, don't think of a red Ferrari, then you can't help but think of a red Ferrari. But where are you seeing it? It's in our heads. We don't have a TV screen, so where is it? And intention is very connected to non-local consciousness because it's tapping into that space of non-local. Non-local means it's not actually in our brain. And that's what scientists are finding more and more. Consciousness is not in our brain. Our brain may be a channel to tap into that space, but actually that consciousness is non-local, i.e. it's out there in a field. Connected to this idea is the Akashic Records. So I will be opening the Akashic Records during the course of this session. The Akashic Records are a field of a high vibration. It's also known as a library of souls and all information. So basically, every soul, their journey, past, present, future, everything is stored in this primal matter that is of a very high vibration and is part of that non-local consciousness. Here are a couple of resources. The Intention Experiment, which is an older book written by Lynn McTaggart, who's actually a journalist, but she researched, she wrote The Field, she's written this Intention Experiment, and she wrote, I think it's called The Group of Eight. So she's been researching, again, thank goodness, whether these phenomena are real. And interestingly, Dan Brown, who you might know, who wrote the Da Vinci Code, this is his latest book. He took 8 years to write this book. And the Akashic Records, this non-local field of consciousness, is mentioned in there. So if you enjoy light reading, it's 600 pages long, but there's some really great pieces of examples of what we experience, but is not mainstream science. And the whole story was basically about how mainstream science does not recognize some of the things we talk about and experience, which does not mean that it doesn't exist. I like to use the analogy of we try to point to someone during broad daylight that there are stars in the sky. It's not going to work. And so it doesn't mean the stars aren't there, but it's about having the perspective to do so, or the right time to do so. We'll do an exercise using logosynthesis, which some of you are familiar with, where words move energy, which is ancient wisdom. We know this across cultures. Words are powerful. Words carry vibration, and vibration is energy. Life is not linear. I'm not a planner. I like to follow the flow, but even if you plan, it's not a straight line. Time is not linear. When we go to the Akashic Records, we'll be emerging from the future. Some of you might be familiar with Theory U. The idea of emergence and emerging from the future is connected to this. The Maharishi effect is connected to the group of eight research I mentioned before. It's about the power of groups. So the fact that we're online doesn't matter because energy travels and transcends space and time. That we're sitting in a group amplifies the experience. And that even transcends. So, someone who cannot join real time but can join in through a recording later, they will still benefit from the power of the group. And if you have been in a room working, doing meditation or other therapeutic work, for example, you will know what a difference it is to do that in a group versus one on one. Okay. So we live in a world where we're running forward, and you could say the herds of horses, which are very powerful, run and gallop and gallop. But I think the big difference is horses know when to stop and rest and graze. And sometimes I have the impression we don't know how to do that. I don't think I'm the only one. The thing is, we all have a heart, but what we're doing here is really we're taking time to stand still because it's so important to be able to stand still in order to focus our attention and intention. And I think the times call for many of us to do that. It's not easy because there's a lot of things pushing us forward, our daily lives, our busyness, many things. What we're doing right now is standing still and holding space for others. What I want to be very clear of, because this is not about being superior to those who are rushing ahead, because there are some days we're in the gray and we are just rushing ahead. This is a dynamic process. So it's a constant and conscious reminder to stand still and tune in. All right. So I'm going to invite you to relax, let yourself be guided. And I think it's wonderful that you're here. It's perfect that you're here. And this is not about performance in any way. There's no right or wrong. I will have instructions for you, but no perfection expected. Okay. All right. We're going to do an exercise, but before we do that on paper, I'm going to tune you in or tune us in. We'll go a little deeper than before. So, again, if you want to place your feet on the ground, if you want to close your eyes and take your attention inward, in just a moment, I'm going to be asking you to tune into your life. And for that, it's good to tune into the here and now and you and who you are in this moment. So, whenever you're tuning into this, whether you're listening to the recording or right here, right now, just tune into your being. Who are you? And how do you answer that question? That's completely up to you. It might be your name, your background, your nationality, your role. You might consider the path life has led you on to lead you to this moment in time. Who are you right now? Feel into your body as you do so. Feel into your heart. Think of the people in your life who are around you and the role they play. And how that may be part of who you are or how you show up as the person that you are. Who are you at home, in your home? Who are you at work or in your studies? Who are you in your neighborhood or community? Who are you in this beautiful lifetime that you get to live on this beautiful planet? What's important to you in your life right now? Who is important to you in your life? What makes your life meaningful, fulfilling, or not? What might be pulling you down or be lifting you up? Or who might be pulling you down or lifting you up? Or it may feel that way. What are some things you would like more of or less of right now? Consider your health and well being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Just notice. Take a few conscious breaths. And when you're ready, open your eyes, and you might want to have a sip of water or whatever you brought with you. And then we're going to do an exercise using the paper and pens you've brought with you. So we started tuning into your life and the here and now. What I've drawn up for you here, and let me explain it first before I ask you to draw it. First, I will ask you to, and you can do this with your dominant or non dominant hand and make it as colorful as you would like. This bigger circle is your life and your energetic space. So before you draw the circles here, you can draw the bigger circle, but don't draw the smaller circles yet. The central heart is spirit. That's the core of who we are, our spirit, our soul in this lifetime. The second heart, so to speak, is the personality that we are in this lifetime, the identity that we have. The exercise is for you to identify the aspects of life which are present for you. Some are more important, some are less important. Some of the things I just took you through. And these are the rings. So you can draw as many rings as you like, or circles. Before you do so, let me explain why it cuts through this line. It's a tip I picked up recently from a lady, and I forget her name. But it's to say that when we put our ideas out there around what we would like more of, let's take myself for an example. I have work and I have an idea of how certain things should look, and that is within my control. A lot is not within my control. And that's the reality that we have in life. It's not only not within my control, it's in part a co creation with spirit. In other words, it's not just that we have external influences, it's also because the universe is working with us. So when we put our ideas out there, they will show up, they will manifest in ways that we have to hand over as well and let go. We can plan, we can put our ideas out there, and we need to hand it over. So, this outer part is to let the universe know we know that we're going to be handing it over. Okay. So, just before I get you to begin, I've created a list of aspects of life that are classically part of what we also know as the life wheel, different aspects of life. So, our health and well being, it's a big word because there's a physical, mental, emotional, etc. There's family, relationships, friendships, home, work, purpose and meaning, boundaries, whether we set them or don't, and how, whether it's with time, people, work, whatever. There's balance, studies. I'm so happy to note that there are a few young people on this call as well. Finances, geography, hobby. Feel free to add anything else. So these are circles. And don't worry if it feels like, oh my gosh, there are all these circles. Just write whatever you want to, or rather draw whatever you want to. If you have some additional ones in here, please put them in the chat because it might inspire other people as well. What you're doing is sensing into, we're tuning into each of these circles, in aspects of our life and what it is like right now. This is not the wish list, this is the here and now. Okay. So it's drawing this using colors. It's not a competition. You're not going to share this. This is for you. Drawing whatever circles and writing keywords if it feels right. Do write the keywords of these aspects in, and anything that shows up. What you're tuning into is what's going on for you here right now. How important is it to you? Is it feeling good? Is it feeling a bit shaky or wobbly? How does it feel? How does it show up? Use all your senses, and we have more than five senses to draw this on a big piece of paper. There's no right or wrong way. This is just an idea of how you can present it. We will be coming back to this later on, but that's my invitation for now. It's about the here and now. Again, feel free to put in the chat if you have some additional aspects that you would like to add to this list, because there are others I haven't covered. And let's take some 10 minutes for this. Sense of peace and safety. Beautiful. Joy. Travel. Lovely giving back. I've written the instruction in the chat. Sense into these aspects as they are in the here and now. What's important to you? What's less important to you? What feels good or less good without judging, simply noticing. Write down keywords or draw, use symbols or whatever else comes to your mind. Time is another important aspect. Good one. Mhm. Community, charity, social work, contribution to society, which is what we're doing here today as well, by the way. Let's take another minute or so. If you notice you're in your head or only in your head, take your attention, let it drop down into your heart and into the lower dantian and into the earth. I also want to mention that we're not goal setting here. There's no goal setting. We're not setting targets. You're not performing. You're not judging yourself whilst you're doing this for, oh my gosh, I'm only doing this. So, none of that, please. Simply witnessing your own life in this moment and where you stand, how it is, what you love about it, and maybe what you love a little less. And it's perfectly okay, just the way it is. Let yourself get creative if you wish. If there's anything you need to add, I invite you to do so. And I also invite you to, if you've finished, just look at what you've come up with. Just notice your reaction. What happens when you look at what you've come up with? I'd like to get a sense of whether anyone needs more time. So, including those who are not on video, because I can't see you. I can't see you jumping up and down out of joy. Excitement. Great. And it's okay if you fall asleep in the course of this. Absolutely everything is fine. All right. Okay. We ready to move on? Okay. All right. So, what we're going to do now is do a little bit of logosynthesis and clear. And logosynthesis is an approach which has been around for 20 plus years. And I'll walk you through this. Logosynthesis is an approach which works with energy and words moving energy. And so, because everything is energy, we can release and bring energy back into flow. So, energy is either frozen or it's in flow. It's either yours or it's not yours. Those are the basic principles of logosynthesis. So, for those not familiar with logosynthesis, what's going to happen is I'll be asking you to speak the sentences out loud. There are three sentences, and you speak them out loud. So it's good that you're all muted because otherwise it would sound like a sect, which we are not. But it's important to speak the sentences out loud because sound carries vibration. And even when we do this work for ourselves, because we can do self coaching with this as well, we speak them out loud. Treat it as an experiment. If you don't know it, it works. Most people say after a first session where they've been open to it, that it's as if something magical has happened because something shifts. What we're going to do, why I'm bringing this in here, is because whatever you have come up with in your drawing, there's energy, we would call it bound or frozen in it. Whether you feel good about what you've drawn or not, we're going to take care of it by clearing it before we move on to the next piece of work. So, if for whatever reason you might not like what you've come up with entirely, don't worry because we're going to clear that right now together. Okay? For that, it actually helps to close your eyes. So you would just need to listen to what I say and follow, say the sentences out loud. We'll pause between each sentence. What's important is that you don't try to analyze what I'm saying. Don't try to understand or analyze the words because that'll take you to your head. This kind of work is more ideal if you can feel into the experience instead and let the words work for you, which is what I'll also say. So please don't try to understand. Park your beautiful cognitive brains and intellect, and we can have a separate conversation if you're curious about how it works another time, but not for now. All right. If it will help you to read the sentences on screen, then feel free to open your eyes. But otherwise, I would invite you to close your eyes and let yourself be guided by my words. Before you do that, take a good look at your drawing. And we like to gauge this in terms of what we call distress, like if it's causing any form of anxiety or whatever it is. And it doesn't matter the number, there's no right or wrong again. We use a scale of 0 to 10. 10 is where there's high distress. So if it's a drawing you've come up with where you really, really don't like and it's really causing anxiety, then it might be closer to a 10. And if you're liking what you're seeing, maybe it's even a 2. It does not matter. Identify in your mind or make a mental note when you look at what you've come up with. Where is this number on the scale of 0 to 10? There's no 11, there's no minus, It's 0 to 10. Just make a mental note of that. 10 is high distress, 0 is no distress. Okay. Now I invite you to close your eyes. The first sentence, and I ask you to repeat loud after me, is I retrieve, say it out loud, all my energy bound up in this drawing and all that it represents, and take it to the right place in myself. And just let the words sink in. Notice your body. Focus on your body and just observe. Don't think. Just breathe. And let the words work for you. I'll give you the second sentence and again ask you to repeat out loud after me. I remove all non me energy related to this drawing and all that it represents from all my cells, so like blood cells, from all my cells, all my body, and all my personal space, and I send it to where it truly belongs. And let the words work for you. Let it sink in, no thinking. And if you feel a need to yawn, that's a very natural reaction as well. Simply notice. Okay, I give you the third sentence. Can repeat after me out loud. I retrieve all my energy bound up in all my reactions to this drawing and all that it represents. And I take it to the right place in myself. And just let the words sink in. No thinking. Let them work for you. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And now, when you take a look at the drawing, what's different, if anything? And on that scale of 0 to 10, what's the number now? How are you feeling about it? And the difference in your body is something good to tune into. You're very welcome to share in the chat if you want the two numbers that you came up with, the first number and the second number, just out of curiosity to see what's changed, if something has changed for each of you. Mhm. And again, please, there's no competition. If your number has gone up, which is usually the exception, it can mean that something is surfacing. So there's, again, no right or wrong. If it stays the same, that's also perfectly okay. Okay, so we can see there's an overall downward shift. Great. This data is not going anywhere. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. What we're going to do is, before we step into the next phase, is take a short break. Feel free to stretch and do what you need to do so that we come in for the second part where we're going to go deeper. So be prepared for that. Okay. See you soon. I'm going to pause the recording. Okay. Lovely. Welcome back. So, we're going to step into a higher field of consciousness. The way this is going to work is we're going to tune in together, and then I'll open the Akashic Records. And the way that's going to work, I'll say this now, is there are many ways to access the Akashic Records. And I work with what's known as the Pathway Prayer. Linda Howe is the author of the book, if you're interested. And I've been working with the records for, 15 years or so. I sit in them every day. And I'll say this now as well. When we're in the records, we're tuning into the energy field. Information follows energy, right? So it's a higher space of vibration. When I speak the records, or it's like an invocation, I will go quiet. But before I do that, we're going to all tune in again. We'll go a little deeper in our meditative space right now as I guide you, and just let yourself be guided. We will be traveling. Remember that time is not linear, so we're going to travel into the future, see what comes up. Again, there's no performance, nothing to hold on to, no expectations. Just be. And if nothing happens for you, know that you're held in this space, and that maybe something will show up later for you. Because again, time is not linear. All right, let's connect back with the here and now, in the space, in terms of closing your eyes. And you may want to close your eyes for this entire exercise so that you're really taking your focus inwards and letting yourself be guided. So dropping into the space of your heart and feeling your heart, your physical and your energetic heart in your body. Sense into your whole being, and in particular your heart energy center, as if you're breathing in and out from that space, allowing your breath to slow down and to deepen. If you wish, you can breathe in 4 times through your nose and 6 times through your mouth. I'll do that with you. So, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, out through 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In your own pace, and then taking your attention down to the dantian, just below the belly button, in the space behind and below it. Same thing here. Breathing in 4 times. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through the mouth. 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll let you do your own counting for each of the stops we're going to take, because I'm going to take you further down into what is known as the Earth Star Chakra, which is about a half a meter below our feet, and the connecting point with the earth, breathing in and out from that space. Really feel into that, and how the earth is holding us, giving us her strength, and our connection to her, which is always there. We're just giving it our conscious connection in this moment in time. It's a chakra that is less well known, but so important to feel our groundedness, rooted, earthed. Sensing her energy, and as if you pulling her beautiful, beautiful, resilient, strong, miraculous life energy into your body, up through the dantian, into your solar plexus, into your heart, and then now up into your third eye, and stopping there for a moment to breathe in and out from your third eye. Same thing here. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Allowing yourself to relax and expand and release. Now taking your attention upwards through the crown chakra, and just about 50 centimeters above your head, there's what we call the soul star chakra, the seat and the entry point, so to speak, through the cosmos, into the cosmos. And we also take our breath up there. Breathing into this space in your own time. Deepening the experience of alignment and conscious connection. Opening up to the space beyond, the higher realms, the oneness, spirit with a great big S, feeling the energy of the heavens, whatever name you wish to call it. And then becoming aware of the energy that is coming up from above and below into this body. So if you want to take your attention back to the lower dantian and your heart, and if you want to put your hands on your heart and the belly, you're welcome to do so, to really feel this coming together of the worlds and dimensions in your being, in your physical being, because we are the bridges between above and below, between the heavens and the earth. We are constantly connected with above and below. We just don't give it our conscious attention, but we're doing so right now. And in fact, you might sense light or even see light, feel the energy in this pillar of love and light interconnectedness, because we are connected through the earth and with everything that's on earth. We are one, and we are connected with the above and are one there. So we're just fully one. In this world, which is so divided and there's a sense of separation, in this moment, we know that it's not, that we are spirit in this human body having a human experience. And we are light and spirit. And imagine when you feel into this, that we are able to connect and see others from this space, see their light, see their spirit, see not using our human eyes, but with our inner eye and the eye of our inner spirit, full of love and magic from this space. Just let yourself be guided, whatever your experience is in this moment. You can relax into it, taking breaths as you deepen into this experience, this sense of full connection, alignment, the energies of above and below, holding you, within you, merging within you, the yin and yang. There's only perfection in this moment with all that is. No less, no more. I'm going to invite you to continue feeling into this experience whilst I open the records for all of us. I shall be speaking the words of the pathway prayer. There's no need for you to do anything. I will go silent at times and announce when the records are open. And will continue to guide you from there. And so we do acknowledge the forces of light, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to us. Infinite Spirit of Light. Help me to know this circle in the light of the Akashic Records, to see this circle through the eyes of the guardians of the records, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the masters, teachers, and loved ones of the circle have for them. records are now open, and we give thanks for all the masters, teachers, loved ones, guides, higher beings, and entities who are present. May we be open to receiving their guidance, their love, their wisdom. I invite you to tune into this space of higher vibrational frequency. Just tune in. Feeling held, knowing that you are held. Whatever you're experiencing right now is perfectly okay, just the way it is. We're being taken through dimensions of time and space, guided. Allow yourself to relax, to be transported energetically without your needing to know how or why, or just trusting in the higher dimensions of consciousness, transported into a future, tuning into the qualities of this fire horse year, the qualities of the fire horse. Accompany us on this journey, giving us the strength, the stamina, the power, the individual power, and the power of the herd, where our hearts are synchronizing, where we are in coherence and resonance, alert, sensitive, and powerful in a way that, this is what they're telling me, does not feel human. Not only because we're synchronizing with the spirit of the horse, but with the spirit within. We're taken to a place, and now I understand why this horse has wings. This image of wings taking us to this space, time, field in the future where we are co creating for ourselves, but also the collective, our lives, considering the aspects each of you wrote down or drew before, those aspects of your life where things have shifted and transformed, perhaps in such a way that the light within you and the spirit within you are soaring and shining so brightly. And you're not only able to feel your own light, but you're able to recognize and ignite, in fact, spark without needing to do anything. Acknowledge and honor the light and the spirit in others. And when you tune into your own space and that around you, the people around you, it's as if everything is sparkling with that energy of a higher vibration than when we began this journey. People close to you are shining brighter. Your life is shining brighter. Whatever that means, just tune in and notice what shows up for you, whether you see, hear, sense, or have this sense of knowing, or perhaps even smell. You're tuning into, just allow it to show up for you very gently. Just relaxing into this space, being guided. Just notice, and anytime that you drift off, just bring your attention back to spirit and the light within you. Just notice how these aspects of your life, your home, the people you are with and connect with, be it at work or friends, peers, colleagues, the connection is much more resonant to your own frequency. The people, things you do, the joy, the ability to set boundaries in such a way that you take time for yourself whenever necessary. And you're paying attention. When you look back from this space to where you started, you notice that you've been paying more attention to signs, not using your personal intellect or willpower, not only, but really collaborating, tuning into spirit and your own soul, but also the higher forces, asking for guidance. And that's how you've ended up here, because you've been collaborating and partnering with your higher self, the higher wisdom that's within you, but is also above you and in full alignment with the earth, so that there's a sense of resonance. And you will maybe notice that there are people you are in less contact with, and that is perfectly okay as well, for each is on their unique path. There is a sense of freedom which comes from the inside out. You've chosen, you've made choices, not always easy, but in your highest good and the highest good of everyone connected to you and for the highest good. And you realize as you've come to this point how by doing so, not only has your vibration lifted, but the collective vibration, the story has changed for how you observe things. No matter what goes on around you, you are feeling strong and more centered in this place, more rooted in the earth, but also more conscious of the connection with the higher forces and how good that feels. So that whatever goes on in the media, which you still keep track of when you wish, does not in any way pull you down. You're aware, you're highly aware of your own awareness, and you know where the boundaries are. You are safe and protected. and how wonderful that feels. And how you work with time maybe has shifted. Maybe you've noticed that you have been taking more time so that it actually slows down time. So you get to choose whether time goes fast or slow because it no longer dictates you. And choices you have made are yours. That sense of freedom, that free spirit has flown and infused everything you think and do. And so it carries a higher vibration. And whatever tendencies you might have had to blame others or yourself, oh, you're the harshest critic of yourself in the past, that's dissipating so that the love you have and feel from the inside out for yourself, but also others who may have caused suffering in the past, there is no hardness, there's no resentment, there's peace, there's compassion. And it's because, or also because, your heart has grown and you no longer judge yourself, and therefore you no longer judge others. You are free, they are free. You're on your path, they are on theirs. And because you are so much more in closer connection and awareness of the spirit within, you can see beyond their identity and the role and the personality that they have taken on in this lifetime. And you see, connect with, honor their spirit by first honoring your own and your beautiful body. The sense of gratitude, whatever state you are in, that you are breathing, and that you have this miraculous vessel which functions day and night without your thinking how. And yes, maybe there might be a little bit of pain or whatever. It is part of life, and that's that full acceptance and love you have for it that you might be feeling in this moment. Let whatever resonates with you resonate, and whatever doesn't, just let it fall away. Infusion with spirit and love in every aspect of your life, your home, the geography, the community, the sense of contribution in whatever form. Money carries a higher vibration so that you allow it to enter your life more abundantly. Whatever thoughts you might have had around it being dirty or only for those who are at the top of the food chain, so to speak, has dissipated as well. There too, there's a sense of forgiving. There is nothing that needs forgiveness in this space. Nothing. There's just peace. All aspects of your life have shifted to the extent that is perfect for this moment in time on your path. You do not need to know how your life looks like at this point in time in the future. Towards the end of this year of the fire horse, what you do know and sense is this higher, stronger sense of light, resonance, acceptance, love, peace, freedom. And it vibrates in your entire being. Your thoughts have shifted. Your words and how you communicate has shifted. Even if there are tweaks, there's no judgment in this space. It simply is. People might comment who haven't seen you for a while that something's different about you without being able to put their finger on it. Remembering we have our energetic field and it vibrates beyond our bodies and transcends space and time so that your mind and thoughts might travel and connect with those who are far away so that these gifts that we have when we were born have resurfaced are at your fingertips more and more. Your awareness is heightened, sense of connection is more conscious, and you let it flow gently. And because we're still human, we forget. But we're reminded more and more, and you've been reminding yourself more and more, or being nudged because you tune in and you get nudged along the way. Let this sink in, and so you're soaking all this vibrational energy in this higher space of consciousness, sensing it in your physical being. Your emotional, mental, energetic bodies, just letting it be, letting it sink in, knowing that your system is integrating this without your head or mind needing to do anything. Just check in what else you're tuning into in this moment, in this space time of the future. And what the aspects of your life feel like, the ones that are most important to you. Perhaps you might even notice there's a change in what's become important to you. Simply allowing, observing, giving thanks, and feeling the gratitude. And you may want to say this for yourself in your mind or out loud that you give thanks. Giving thanks for all that is, giving thanks for who you are, who you've become, who you're becoming, giving thanks for all the love you have in your life, all the people in your life, all that is showing up for you in your life, and how your path unfolds, how your path has unfolded so far, and how it continues to unfold. This deep sense of gratitude in the belly and in the heart, in this entire column of light. And with that, we're slowly being taken back to the present moment. And because time is not linear, they're back here, right, in an instant, in a nanosecond. And so you're noticing and letting all this integrate as you come back into your chair, whatever you're sitting or lying on, and just noticing Just feel into your physical body, feel the chair, feel the floor under your feet. And breathe into your body. Breathe into this column, build a pillar of light you're in, that sense of connection in the present moment with the heavens and the earth and you in the middle, bridging this, bridging the dimensions in your heart and the belly. And maybe, shifting your body so you can actually feel your physical body in this moment. And then when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes gently, have a sip of water or whatever it is that you've brought with you. Come back to the moment of the present. Stretch if you need to, get up if you need to. I'm going to keep the records open as I ask you to go back to this drawing. And now, what you're going to do is create a second drawing. And the second drawing has the same principles. And this time, it's not about the here and now. It's whatever comes up for you when you see these words. Maybe they're different words, maybe different aspects showed up. You still have the two hearts because we're spirit and the personality. We still got the rings, the bigger ring, and just again, draw, write whatever comes up, whatever came up comes up for you now. Give you a few minutes for that. If you want to use your non dominant hand, that might strengthen the process. Just notice when you are in your head, allow yourself to remember that we're in this column of light. I have not closed the records yet. We're still in this high vibrational space. So take the opportunity to allow higher wisdom, the creative soul that we all are in our own ways, to capture this in a way that feels right for you. If you find that you don't find the right words, that is not only perfectly okay, that's because sometimes there are no words. And know that the experience continues to integrate at a level beyond the conscious. You might also take just one pen or colored, and you might ask your hand to be guided and end up drawing something that you have no idea what you're drawing. All right, let's just take another minute for this before we could begin to close the session, and you can always continue afterwards if you wish. So I wouldn't call this work that we've done here. I don't have a very good name for it. But when we elevate our individual vibrational frequency, we're doing so exponentially for the collective. So, as Thich Nhat Hanh, the Buddhist monk, said, peace within, peace without. And whenever you finish with the drawing, whether it's now or later, here's what I would suggest that you do. The first drawing that you made, I would recommend that you burn it or shred it. The second one, if you wish to make a copy of it, and also burn it. So you can keep one if you want, copy, but burn one. And by burning it, you are handing it over to the universe. So there are no attachments. You're letting go with gratitude. But you can make a copy of it if you want, so that in a year's time you can check in and see. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I will be following through because the exercise of focusing our attention and attention and all of that is a practice that we just forget. I know I forget. I'm getting better at it without beating myself up because I like to walk the talk, but it's something that we forget because of the busy lives that we live and because of everything going on around us. And so I intend to offer similar sessions like this on a regular basis so that we can all co-create for ourselves and each other and exercise these beautiful muscles we've got, these beautiful gifts we have, which are innate to all of us. And the fact that some of you have your younger generation with us, it's beautiful because the younger have not lost it yet, as much as us older people. I'm talking about myself here. So, all right. I'm going to, with that, close the records before we tune out. So if you would just be with me for a moment as I do so, we would like to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. We would like to thank the guardians of the Akashic Records for their point of view. And we would like to thank the infinite spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. And so it is. So let's tune out by giving thanks that you're all here, that you are here. Say thanks to yourself. And if you would like to share in the chat your experience, how you're feeling right now, and if you want to unmute for the first time, the sessions I run are usually a lot more interactive, so I'm not used to this one way thing. So feel free to unmute. I'd love to hear some voices. And if you need to drop off the call, feel free to do so. I really enjoyed having you all here. Really happy to see some faces I haven't seen in a while. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me officially do the last slide for the recording. So thank you, thank you, thank you. My heart, take good care. Enjoy the year of the horse and everything it has to offer you. Yeah. Let's make this a better world by being who we are and letting the love flow from our hearts and that light and spirit.